Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining another session. My name is Jutta. I'm head of marketing here at Guuru. And I have two wonderful guests with me today. Silvan, the pro cyclist. Cool to have a pro athlete once with us who shares some insights about his life. And Dirk from Canyon, who joins for a second time. I'd like just to give over the word to you, Silvan, first, so that you two can introduce both yourself as well.
Yes, hi everyone. Thank you for having me here. I'm a professional cyclist with Alpecin-Deceuninck. I live here in Schneisingen with my family, with my wife, and we have two small boys. They are 4 and 2 years old.
Dirk, do you want to also introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you also for having me. My name is Dirk Dammert. I'm 47 years old and been in the customer service business for nearly 20 years now. So I'm responsible here at Canyon for the global customer service. My team and I take care of our customers through the entire customer life cycle, from selecting the right bike, advice, ordering the bike, delivery, and also the after sales service through the different contact channels. And we do not only do this from the headquarters in Koblenz, where I live here, but also from several locations in our key markets, and also from 3 huge global customer service hubs.
Cool, thank you. The topic today is community, basically, and community dynamics, and how brands can use those community dynamics. So, Silvan, I'd like to start with you, and I would like to start with a little video. This video, this is from the race Milan-San Remo, which was earlier this year, and you are in a position where you are most of the time when you race at the very front of the bunch. And what I would like to know from you first is, what exactly is your role in the team, and how does that in general work in the team, the distribution of roles?
So yes, I'm like a domestique, how we call that position. So I'm in a supportive role for our main leaders in the race, like Mathieu van der Poel or Jasper Philipsen, who won specifically Milano-San Remo this year. As you saw, now I was pulling in the peloton, which means I was controlling the breakaway, the guys who attacked earlier in the day in the race, so they don't get too far ahead, so which would mean it's more complicated to race for victory later on in the final. So I control them, keep them on the rope, we call it, so we can slowly reel them back in towards the end. And I would say I'm quite good at what I did there. I can ride a really high tempo for a very long time. I'm not super explosive like our top sprinters, but like this, everyone in our team has some qualities, and the team itself, the management and our performance stuff, they select different riders with different qualities and build a team around a leader to win a specific race. And my role this year was quite often pulling the peloton and controlling the breakaway.
And do the other riders from other teams let you do this, or do they try to disturb you by doing this?
I would say in the job I do, I'm quite safe in my environment. But definitely sometimes when there is a key point, let's say a narrow road or a town which is a little bit more complicated with different corners, smaller roads, the hectic in the peloton rises quite significantly, and the fight for positioning is on. And in these kind of situations, I also have to put my elbows out and give myself some space to be able to still perform my task.
And how do you prepare? Like if, for instance, Milano-San Remo, I watched the race. I mean, I don't know, it was probably 3 hours or something like this that you were just pulling in front. How do you prepare this mentally that you just can go at this very high speed? I mean, it showed before something like 46 k's an hour average, or not average, but it showed 46 k's an hour. You need to be very focused, right, to do this.
Yes, for sure. Actually, Milan-San Remo is like the longest race in distance we have in our calendar. It's almost 300 k's, and my job was to pull the peloton until 210k. So it was a small 90 k's to the finish line from that moment. And that was a quite big task, especially there was only one other guy who helped me pulling during these 210 k's. And so mentally, I think you should not think about from K0, I have to pull for 210 k's because that's quite a lot. So what I do, I just I put it down in small segments, or we turned like every 10 or 15 minutes we switched. So I did a pull of 10-15 minutes, then the other guy did a pull of 10-15 minutes, and I was just going from one turn to the next, and all of a sudden 3-4 hours passed by, and you're already at 210k.
We have an interesting question in the chat. So from Jose Silvan, what's your FTP?
That's top secret.
Yeah.
No, to be honest, I also have to guess a little bit. I would say it's around 420 to 430, depending a little bit how you evaluate your FTP, and depending also the shape. Now I'm in a build-up phase where my FTP is definitely a little bit lower than the moment I started Tour de France. So at that time, the goal is to lift up my FTP, maybe 10-20 watts.
And maybe for the non-cyclists, just to explain what FTP is, Silvan.
FTP stands for functional threshold power.
I think that's the power the maximum power you can maintain for 1 hour, right?
Yeah, that's the rule of thumb.
Yeah.
For everyone who doesn't know how high this number is, it's definitely higher than the average Joe's numbers we have. So it's impressive, really impressive to bring this power for 1 hour, definitely.
Silvan, I also saw that you mentioned that you burned 7,000 calories in this race. 7,000 calories is a lot. How do you get this back into your system, and what do you eat during the race?
During the race, it's actually nothing too crazy, nothing too special. Yeah, maybe the things everyone knows. We have isotonic drinks, which have quite a lot of sugar in it. Then we have some gels. I actually really like gels in the race because even in high intensities, it's easy to eat. And then we have some bars, which also contains quite a lot of sugar. Yeah, and actually it's these 3 things we take to us, and we aim for about 100 grams of carbs an hour. which is definitely quite a lot. Actually, I never feel hungry in the race, because the moment you feel hungry, it's already too late to eat. So you should always eat a little bit more and drink more than you actually feel. Because when a car has an empty tank, it doesn't go anywhere, and so it is for me as a bike rider.
And have you ever experienced that you maybe like ate too much and then you felt uncomfortable?
I'm lucky that my stomach is pretty tough. I can handle a lot of food or a lot of sugar. I know that other pros, they struggle more with the uptake of that amount of sugar. But luckily, I'm not one of them. So I don't really know this kind of feeling.
And one last question in regards to what you explained before, especially for this sequence in Milano-San Remo. You said that you had another guy that helped you. That was a guy from a different team. Do you agree on that before the race, or is this something that during the race starts to happen? How does that work, that dynamic?
So, the moment the race starts, there are a few attacks, and a quality as a rider you have to bring to a team is also to be able to observe other riders, to be able to judge what is their tactics, and obviously before the race you have the pre-race favorites, and you know more or less, okay, this team could have the interest to control the peloton, etc., etc. So in Milano-San Remo it was pretty obvious that Little Trek had also some intentions to go for a win, and they were eager to help controlling. And so actually we found each other pretty quickly and helped each other to observe the first few attacks until the breakaway was established. And when that happened, we pretty much immediately started to control. This is most of the time a pretty nice collaboration, at least for the majority of the race normally.
I have also one last question to Silvan, talking about mental challenge. So how do you motivate yourself for the many training miles you have to do when you have a bad day? So is it allowed to also to skip a training? How do you motivate to go out and say, okay, I'll do this and I do my training case?
I guess I have nobody here at home which pushes me to the bike, so I have to force myself on bad days. But actually these days everyone experiences, but I kind of feel like these days there you can make the biggest difference for your performance for the races, because also in races you experience tough moments where you actually question yourself, why are you here? For example, when you enter after 5 hours of racing at the Tour de France, you enter the last climb and it shows 35 Ks to the top. Then you think like, okay, what am I gonna do here? I mean, this is way too hard. If you overcome these challenges, there you push yourself mentally forward, and the next challenge you face, it's gonna be an easier one for you. You just have to go out. And sometimes actually I tell myself, okay, it's raining. If after 20 minutes I'm freezing cold, I turn back. And then most of the time, after 30 minutes, I'm smashing every single small climb, and it's one of the best trainings ever.
So it's also tricking yourself sometimes, right?
Exactly, yeah. So I think it's, again, like segmenting. I really like this mental toughness technique, I call it. So break it down into small pieces, and let's say I just go for the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or half an hour. And if I'm still there, then I go a little bit further.
Now on this pic, we see you with your teammate, Mathieu van der Poel, who I think we can say is one of the biggest superstars in cycling right now, right?
For sure, 100%.
100%. Dirk, you would agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So riding with a superstar is certainly nice and inspirational, but I can imagine it's maybe also putting on some pressure. Expectations are high. How do you experience this, Silvan? What does it mean to you to ride alongside Mathieu? And you said before that you are like his domestique, so you play an important role in his victories, I guess. How do you experience this?
First of all, I just see it as a big privilege to be able to ride in the time where he is riding, and even more as a teammate. So yeah, I mean, only this year again we wrote some history as the first team who won the 3 biggest one-day races in a row in one season. Mathieu is a superstar in our sport, no doubt. And obviously expectations are high on the team, on him. But I think it doesn't serve me if I freak out before a race, if I'm gonna be able to perform my task or not. The thing is, I try to see it more as an opportunity to show up and try my best. Yeah, let's see how far I can go. The further I can go, the better it is for the team, the more inspiring I can be for other people as well. And so I try to see it from that perspective. And I think if you can see it from that point of view, you also suffer way less, because the moment you see yourself in pain and struggling and fighting, then it's a matter of time until you have to abandon or whatever. As long as you just try to be the best you can be, I think, yeah, you can never make a mistake there.
And does he put pressure before or in a race that he would give you orders or something?
With Mathieu, I was already in different teams with big stars. If you see Mathieu's background with his granddad, who was already a famous cyclist, his dad was a famous cyclist, and then the story they built around all of this, I mean, I cannot imagine the pressure sometimes he must feel on him, but still, I was never with a leader who was so calm before such a big event. For me, this is inspiring, how he handles this. Other people who know him for much longer, they say, oh, he was nervous today. I was like, I didn't see anything. He's still like 20 minutes before the start of Paris-Roubaix, he's dancing in the bus and singing some Dutch songs. It's like, it's a party. It's not too serious, actually.
Dirk, obviously Mathieu is also a huge ambassador for Canyon. What does this mean for you? I mean, he just signed a 10-year contract. Everybody knows, it was in the media and everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, this is, of course, a huge thing for us, and which everyone at Canyon is very happy about. Signing a 10-year contract is exceptional, not only in cycling, but in, let's say, in general sports. And at the same time, it's a huge vote of Mathieu's confidence in our products, right? And of course, also the whole pro sport is not only creating epic pictures on the TV and epic fights and epic moments. Yeah, that's, of course, it's also important, and that's often the reason why we watch all those races. But it's also to develop, or to help us develop, the best bike we can, and bring also the developments even further. And all the wins, all the fights have a huge impact on our reputation as a brand, but also it helps us, and it's very important for us to have such great riders. And indeed, Mathieu is one of the best riders of our time, to have those guys on board who help us developing even further and bring the best bike to our customers.
You also told me in one of our discussions, you said that Mathieu is your best sales guy, right?
Of course, yeah. So as I said, yeah, every time or often when Mathieu wins, but also all the other pro riders, not only Mathieu and also Jan in the past, Jan Frodeno in the past, Annemiek van Vleuten in the past, we see an impact on the sales numbers, of course. In cycling, the good thing and the interesting thing is that you can ride the same equipment as the pro riders. Try this at Formula One or so not possible. In cycling, you can do it, yeah, and for a also expensive price, but not as expensive as you as a Formula One car costs at the end. And we see an influence on our sales performance on one thing, but on the other thing, we have to bring those sales in our basket, right? So Mathieu is creating or is delivering those emotions. He is not consultating our customers. Yeah, I mean, would be great if he do this, but at the end we have to bring it home and developing concepts where we can support our customers and also clarify all the questions our customers have.
One question that just came also from Mathieu is for you, Silvan, if you do ride indoor.
Yes, from time to time. Since I came up to Swift, I have to say it was a real game changer for me for indoor cycling, for sure. Especially I stay the whole year round here in Switzerland at my place. Yeah, sometimes it can be really cold, rainy, snowy, and on these days I'm happy I have indoor facility where I can do my training.
Good. Now, Silvan, besides being a successful pro rider, you are also successfully interacting with the community, and this is what I would like to talk next. You organize your own events, and you actually do it yourself since last year, if I remember well. I attended one of those events in autumn. This is this event here. And why I added this picture here is because I really liked how you were like a host. People came and you greeted almost everyone individually, and you were standing in the middle of this place and looking at everyone and welcoming everyone. Can you tell us a little bit what is the motivation, why you do these events and this interaction with the community?
We always have so amazing people in my community, and my cycling community, and cycling community is actually really big. So many people, they love to cycle around on gravel roads, on normal tarmac roads, with the mountain bike. We have so many different bikes also available nowadays. So there is almost for everyone something. And I just love when good people come together, and this event here is the charity event we organize. A few years ago, a good friend of mine, he approached me, who started this Movember community in our region. So Movember is a charity organization who creates awareness of men's health. Now we also don't only support Movember, we also support Pink Ribbon Switzerland, which is more or less the same thing for the ladies. It's just super nice to have all these great people coming together, share their passion of cycling, raise some money for a good cause. Most of them I really know personally already for a long time, but there are always also new faces showing up, bringing some nice energy to this community, and I just love to be part of it and or be able to create such an atmosphere.
When you do these events, do you consider yourself as a role model? And what, if yes, what do you want to put across? What can people or should people learn from you?
Yeah, I would say most of the people, they know me maybe from TV, or that I'm a pro cyclist, know me from social media, and maybe I'm more like a role model there for them. And then I want to give them the opportunity to connect with me also offline. Basically, these events are a platform to really get in touch with each other, be able to exchange a few words with the person itself. And we also organize another event which is called Gipfel Gran Fondo, which is with road bikes only. There it is more about the physical challenge, because I want to encourage everyone to also push their limits, even if they are 65 years old, still able to ride the bike. I would like to see them pushing their limits. It doesn't mean they have to do an FTP test 20 minutes all out. But if they push a little bit for 5 minutes on a climb, I think everybody can agree that if you push a little bit your limits, in the evening you say, oh, that was a good day. And so I want to bring this feeling to the people who join the event. That is like the idea behind. And I know that it works, because a really nice example is one of the best friends of my wife. He already smoked one package of cigarettes by the age of 13 a day.
13?
Yes.
Crazy.
You almost cannot tell it. But
this.
You almost cannot tell it, but it's actually crazy. When we organized this event for the very first time, he agreed with another friend to join it, to attend the smallest loop we did at that time, and they were really struggling. It was raining, it was cold, it was end of February, and it can be really cold and tough conditions. And they finished and had a super big smile on their face. And from that moment on, he changed almost his whole life. He stopped smoking. He started to run. He started to cycle. He's now super fit. And so these transformations, I love to see. It's also, this gives me energy to organize these events.
That is very nice said. I like this a lot. I just want to close this with this picture here, because that shows that you don't only say you do charity, you actually do it. You collected over 7,000 Swiss francs in this last charity ride. Good. Then, Dirk, let's move back to you about community, because you at Canyon, you also have a big focus on community. So what we see here from what Silvan just explained, meeting live with community guys, with the cycling community, you at Canyon, you use this dynamic as well, but online.
That's right, yeah. So we have very large, can call it fan base or community in social media, which is active in social media for a long time. All the members of those groups, of those Facebook groups, are supporting each other for technical questions, but also for advice when they want to buy a bike, selecting the bike, stuff like that. And we decided to make it happen that a broader range of customers can take advantage of this community, not only getting the help from the customer service agents we have, but also get advice from their peer group. Because we also we realized that those peer groups have a huge level of trust at the customers, and we decided to make this available for a wider range of customers. And we decided with your help to bring this to our website and make it equal to the existing way of contacting a customer service agent, making able to contact the community via the Guuru chat. To be honest, it was not an easy decision to make this. We also had skeptical voices internally who were concerned whether the community-based advices would reach the same level of quality we expect, or if someone is rude to customers, some guys of the community, I don't know. And we decided to test it out and make a pilot, tested it, and we were overwhelmed by the results we saw. We had nearly almost from day one an NPS and a CSAT, in some cases, in some days, well above the values we have with our internal, we reach with our internal agents, with our in-house customer service. Yeah, you can see here the way of how customers can contact the community chat. So it's able to do this directly on the website, on the lower right corner, jump into the community chat. Yeah, we saw a huge success in offering those kind of service to our customers. Had a huge success on this, and still now we also plan, or we are right in the phase of bringing this model to our other markets. So we will bring this to the US market in the near future, and also to several European countries.
Maybe I can just quickly explain in 2-3 sentences how it works. With the help of this slide, this is another sports brand that uses the community in the e-store, which is Dynafit. And basically, you see in the background, you see all those bubbles. That's the community. We will talk about who community is, and also your community, Dirk, that you use. So they are on our platform. An online shopper can, as we saw it before on the Canyon page, can connect via chat in real time with a community member. Our algorithm distributes the questions to the community guys on the platform, and on a first come, first served basis, a community member accepts the question and starts interacting in real time with the online shopper that needs advice in the product choice. And I also added just a bit what's the background. We encourage all our, we call them gurus, the community members that have been approved to be on the platform, to also share a little bit of background why they want to be a guru. That's also nice that you have a certain degree of confidence when you speak to those people on the shop. Maybe also one word to why did we have this idea to do this platform, is because we all know people trust peer recommendations more than any form of advertisement. It's this social proof. I think we, especially in the sports industry, in the cycling industry, we know this very well. If you want to buy something new, you ask your peers, you ask the guy with whom you ride the bike. If I want to buy a new bike, I will probably ask someone I know that rides this bike already and get the opinion. You always trust the recommendation from someone who has it already much more.
And that was exactly the effect I described, which we had in the past in those social media groups, in this closed social media groups, which we now bring to all of our customers to offer this kind of advice, and also this kind of peer group support.
Let's talk a little bit about the community, and maybe I can quickly share the community page, who actually are these guys. So you mentioned that you had this Facebook group already.
That's right. So we had different Facebook groups, or we are active in different Facebook groups, not only Canyon-based groups, but also fan groups. And we started a campaign in those groups, and also send out a customer newsletter to find those experts, to find those gurus, to build up the community in this group, so that we use, or that we identify those guys who did this in the past already, and who wants to do it now in a more, let's say, in a more also
direct, probably.
Direct way on our website, and getting in touch with not only the same guys within the group, but also customers who, let's say, buy their first bike for the last 20 years, right? Which was definitely a thing during the pandemic. We saw a lot of new customers, really new customers, who had questions. Okay, which is the right bike for me? They were sometimes stressed about the variety of different bikes. Is it a gravel bike, an endurance bike, a road bike, or an MTB, or maybe a fitness bike? Which is the right bike? And this is definitely a point where the community comes into place and helping those customers.
Do you want to share a bit how you selected those gurus?
Yeah.
Not everybody can become a guru. They need to pass the test, so that you as the brand and we as the platform provider have a bit of a security that these guys actually do know what they're talking about.
Yeah, of course, we want to have a specific level of quality in the support. So we started, as I said, a recruiting campaign. In those Facebook groups, we send out an email newsletter to our German customer base and ask, hey, do you want to help other customers? Do you want to support other customers? And do you want also to incentivize your knowledge you have? After this, we had a lot of applications for this program. And we did a knowledge test with all the candidates we selected. The barrier was to pass this test, and we started in the very first beginning with 30 experts in the program who were able to do the support for our customers, together with our internal support, of course. They don't do all the support, because they have no access to customer data, of course. They cannot change existing orders, things like that. So we are talking here about sales support and also easy technical support. So in every case, an example, a customer wants to convert his bike to tubeless. That's a typical easy question. Is my equipment capable of doing this? And what do I need? Do I need a new valve? What sealant do I need? Is the tire ready for tubeless? And those are the kinds of questions the community answers. And with this knowledge test, we reached really, really good and high numbers, and that was a huge success. To be honest, the test was not easy. And our target was that every single questions of those 30 questions must be answered in a correct way. So that was not easy. But at the end, it paid out, and we had a lot of.
We have a few questions in regards to the platform. The question is if the gurus are incentivized. Yes, they are. It's either a cash payout, which most of our partners choose, but some also choose points, where you can give points and your customers can then use the gurus who are at the end of the day are also your customers, can then reuse those points when they do the next purchase on the website. But Dirk, we have a few nice stories as well about some of the gurus. The first one I can maybe quickly share. After the Easter weekend, I did a cycle ride from Zurich to Cologne with a couple of overnight stops. I knew it will be raining the whole day. I was kind of trying to get ready in my mind that I will now ride for 8 hours in the rain. And maybe after 1 hour, I ran into this guy, canyon rider, and we started to exchange, where do you go? And he went to Mannheim, I believe, and I went a tiny little bit further. So we decided to ride together. You have all kinds of chats. What do you do? What is your work, and so on. And I explained to him what we do, and that we have this community platform, and that Canyon is using it. And since he's riding a Canyon bike, he may have seen it. And now I saw that he is a guru.
Yeah, he went as a
Yeah,
Great.
he just passed the test. I think you had an open gate for a specific time where he allowed more gurus to come in.
Wow.
And now he is a guru. And this is just an excellent story. I just love it. You know, I mean.
Great. Yeah, we had an open gate because, of course, you also lose over time. Guru's life changes, and therefore also the available time will change. From time to time, we have to refill the experts on the platform. Definitely, but it's great. So you talked to me after this happened, and that's great that he's now on board.
Yeah, he's super happy. He wrote me and he said that he really enjoys it. You have two more stories, right? One, maybe the one you told me when you first presented the program to your US colleagues.
Yeah, that's right. So US, to give you more perspective, US will start next week with Guuru. When I was there in the last year, I presented, of course, this project, this pilot, and also presented our results. And my colleagues were blown away by the results, and they asked, okay, what did you do to find those quality of expertise? They cannot believe that we have only one knowledge test with 30 questions to find this kind of expertise of quality within our existing community. But it was possible because the community is so highly educated and highly knowable that it is easy. You have to engage the community to do more, and if you're able to do this, you can use this knowledge, and then it's easy to find those experts and work together with them. And I'm really happy that we are able to now do this also in the US from next week on.
Yeah, we are very excited as well. Silvan, I'd like to come back to you. This picture here is from 2018. That was a very breakthrough moment for you in your career.
Yes, 2018, I became second behind the guy behind me there. It was current, or at that time, current world champion Peter Sagan. Paris-Roubaix is one of the biggest one-day races we have in our calendar. So yeah, for the guys who don't know Paris-Roubaix, it's this crazy race where we ride on these cobblestone sections, and the problem there is, not all the cobblestones are present. So sometimes you just hit big holes, and so I almost crashed there. But yeah, this was definitely one of the biggest highlights in my career.
Yeah, I think I remember that it was all over the place in the media, and I also have a nice quote here. So first of all, let's have a look how you looked after the race. It looks exhausting.
Yeah, actually, I was just crying after the finish line. I was not sure if I cry because of all the pain I have in my body, or because I lost the race. But at the same time, to finish on the podium in such a race, it's fantastic. It was one of my biggest performances so far. I was in the breakaway, or in the original breakaway. The guys I control nowadays, I was back then one of these escapees, and survived with only one guy who beat me in the end. So I was crazy happy about my performance. But I was already crying on the bike because the last 30 Ks was riding through the hell, and it's there is a reason why people call it the race through hell, or it's
the hell of the North, I believe.
The hell of the North, exactly. And I also said in the interview afterwards, Peter Sagan had kind of a double role. He was like the angel and the devil at the same time, because he was definitely an angel, because without his pulls with me, we wouldn't finish this race in front of everyone else. But at the same time, he was definitely a devil, because he was so hard to beat at the finish line.
But you said that you cried also a little bit disappointed finishing second. I think we can say that you weren't second to anyone. You were second of at the time, probably best sprinter that was out there. But I think this journalist really put it, I just love how he said it, but the hero of the day was undoubtedly Silvan Dillier. And I think this is super nice.
Yeah, for sure. People, remembered this day. Wherever I go, it's always a topic, this race from 2018.
You had this super successful year. I think this was not the only success you had. You won some races, you performed super well that year. Then you were staying 2 more years at this team. It didn't finish super glorious, and you were at a point, you told me, where you almost feared that this was it with your career. Maybe you can tell us a bit about this, and also if you want to just sit up and show your sweater, about this other business that you have, which is this captain attitude.
Yeah, so I was definitely struggling with a few things during the time after this Paris-Roubaix success. Long story short, I was running out of contract in 2020. I had no offer from any team on the day where I did my last race that year. I started, and a few kilometers later, I hit a pole, was laying on the ground with a broken collarbone, and had no idea how my cycling career would go on, or maybe if it would be over. So, which came down to a few tough weeks. It was during the COVID period. Many teams were hard to reach. Many teams were a little bit unsure how they would go on. And after a few sleepless nights, finally my manager called me and said, "Hey, I got in contact again with Alpecin-Deceuninck. They will give me back a call a few days later to see if they have some space." A few days passed. He called again and said, "In 2 days, you go to Zurich, fly to Belgium. You can sign your contract there." I was so grateful for this opportunity, for the team who believed in me, even when I was basically on the lowest point of my career at that time. Everything I got in this team and experienced, it was actually way better than I ever expected. So I maybe it's worth to mention, I was in the World Tour, which is the highest level of teams, and Alpecin-Deceuninck at that time was a level below, so it was actually a step down. But the way they performed in all the races, it was amazing, and I knew, okay, they do stuff right for sure. And then when I joined the team, I experienced the rockstar team. It was on all the levels, it was just on top. I would say they were better than, for sure, 80% of the World Tour teams. And so actually, I knew it's a matter of time. They will step up also to the World Tour. We will go to other races, and we will perform on such a high level that we will win everywhere. During that time, I started to realize that it's only myself who can change my life. It's not my environment who who changes me. I have to change first so I can step into another environment. And during that time, I also started this lifestyle brand, Captain Attitude. And basically why it's called Captain Attitude is you have to be your own captain. And the way you change your life is to show up with a different kind of attitude. And the way I see attitude is how you think and how you feel. And if you think great about yourself and you feel great about yourself, you do great stuff. And if you think I'm not good enough, and if you don't feel like you're good enough, you will never be good enough for whatever you want to do. This is like the idea behind this brand, which gives me also the motivation and reminds me every moment that I should take my life into my hands and be my captain and move into the direction I want to go and appreciate also whatever I have. I think this is a big part I experienced when I got the opportunity with Alpecin-Deceuninck. Yeah, I appreciated what they did for me, even if it was this 1 year bringing me the nighttime quark to the room. It was an amazing service I never experienced before. So, and I think this also translates a little bit to why I do, for example, my events in my home region. It's not like a fancy thing like the Alps, the Swiss Alps. But I think if you go out in front of your door and you appreciate the flowers, which we also have in our region, we have some small climbs. We have beautiful panoramic views. And if you can enjoy all these small things, I think you're pretty much the master of your life.
Yeah, that's also a nice word. You are very philosophical as well. Did you have anyone who guided you to get there, or was that your own process?
I was definitely influenced by quite a few people, which I don't know personally, or I don't know everybody personally, but I was working with different mental coaches during the last few years, which gave me some hints to other person. And so, yeah, I was just always interested in this kind of stuff. So I did my own studies basically in this direction, and a lot of stuff I catch up, and I have to process it also. I think it's something you don't change in one day. It's something you need to practice over time.
So I have ordered my sweater yesterday.
I saw, yeah. Thank you.
The reminder as well, and I'm sharing the link in the chat as well. If anyone else wants to get a little reminder to be your own master of life, then feel free to order your own sweater or t-shirt. One slide I had prepared as well is just to show the audience a little bit what kind of customer feedbacks Canyon gets when an online shopper interacts with one of those gurus. We have just put it here on a slide, so it's a bit compact, but obviously, and there may be 2 sentences that you can share. There is a platform. Our platform also enables you to have real-time insight in all the conversations going on, all the feedback and so on.
Yeah, so this is also an important thing. You're absolutely right. So we are able to read through or do a quality check on the chat so that we can see, okay, what's happening out there. We can see the individual feedback a guru gets from the customer, which also helps us in rating or in identifying, hey, do we need some action on a specific expert or not? And of course, it helps us also to get an overview about the customer sentiment on the kind of support we are offering. And we are able to have a deep look into every chat or every Guuru on the page and see how's the individual feedback on this. And this helps us definitely to rate also the whole program.
Thank you very much, the two of you, that you joined me today. Do you want to share one more thought or one more input?
Silvan?
Yeah, I think communities are super important for every brand. People still want to join communities and be with like-minded people and get some advice with like-minded people. And I think it's great to see, communities come together online and offline in these ways.
Yeah, from my side, I would say the same. So use the community you have for your brand, integrate those those fans of your individual brand into your business. It is definitely worth it. Try this out, make a test, and find out. Okay, it is a huge benefit for your whole customer base. So try this. Give yourself a try and just do it.
Yeah, trust the people, right?
Right.
With this, again, thank you very much, Silvan, for your time. And Dirk, for your time. It was a pleasure to run this webinar together with you. Thanks for joining us, and speak soon. See you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes.